Hi. Hello. Fancy seeing you here. Hi. So, hello, if you're new here, my name is Mandy, aka Male Mandy. Yeah, I have been a CCA for over a year now, and it has been a wild ride for me. I have gone through the ringer, like for real. Like, so many weird and awful things have happened to me that I almost quit. And I decided to stick with it. And I think that it will be a good decision for me and for my family in the future. In a tiny nutshell, the reason I almost quit is 100,000% because of the people above the mail carriers. So like your supervisors and your managers. I almost let them chase me away from something good and something that once I'm regular and have my own route is going to be so much better. So if you're a CCA and you're struggling, hang in there. That's my advice for you. Hang in there. Now, there's so much negativity on YouTube and Facebook. There's all kinds of like USPS groups and stuff. People complain a lot. I complain a lot. But the thing you need to remember is, even if you don't see eye to eye to your supervisors, you are protected by the union. They don't have as much power as they act like they do. As long as you pass your 90 days. Until you reach that 90-day mark, which some people say is 90 days and some people say is 90 working days, which actually might be more than just 90 days from your hire date. But as CCA, you probably, well, like my area, we worked 5, 6, 7 days a week, so it was pretty close. Hang in there. The supervisors, once you're past your 90 days, they can try and give you PDIs, they can try and get you in trouble and stuff, but you're protected by the union. So my advice to you is get in the union. They let you do that as a CCA, and those union people will help you 1,000 million times over. You definitely want to do that. I have found much benefit from being part of my union. So, when I started April Fool's Day, April 1st of last year, which was 2019. And right after my 90, well, first of all, I know I've gained a few pounds. Okay, I know. But when I first started my journey, I weighed almost 250 pounds. I know. And then I lost 55 pounds doing this job, which was great. And I had more to lose, but then, you know, whatever. So anyway, I worked through the summer. Right after my 90 days, I got attacked by a dog. It wasn't serious, but it was scary. Okay. So that was an injury. Had to get a tetanus shot. But after that, I had learned if you get hurt, but you can like keep going and there's nothing like, you know, there's no like big issue, don't even tell anyone. And I know that sounds bad, but they keep track of your injuries and you can get in trouble for it, because I have learned that the supervisors and the office managers, although some of them may seem like they're on your team and they might seem really great people, they also try to get everything on you that they can, because that way, eventually, they can try and get rid of you. That's my opinion. Don't quote me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. But yes. So, like, I tripped on concrete. Like, actually, I was walking through grass, down a little hill, and then onto a sidewalk, and the concrete was not even with the grass. Mama tripped, and I like had blood going all down my leg. I had to pick up my stuff. I was embarrassed. Didn't tell a soul, and that doesn't count as an injury. I can't tell you how many times I rolled my ankle a little here, or tripped a little there, or my fingers look nasty. My fingers bleed. Half the week my fingers are bleeding, and I try not to get it on the mail. I know that's gross. I know it's gross, but usually it's on like the outsides of your hand, so you don't have to, you know, get it on the mail. But like, okay, think about it. If you cut your finger, unless you carry a first aid kit, but we're gonna talk about that later, okay? Oh, if you're new here, subscribe, because I'm here to help, and so we can talk. And I love the conversations in the comments. I love that regulars and CCAs and all kinds of people help other people in the comments, and you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you so much. But yes, unless you carry, this video is kind of like tips for beginners, or maybe even just tips for people that want some tips. And some of you are gonna be like, everybody knows that, but no, not everybody does. So, okay, all right. So, don't tell anyone unless you're like really, really, really hurt. Or you get bit by a dog. And even if it's not a bad bite, you got to make sure that dog had their rabies shots, because then you're going to have to get, you know, all that. So that's a whole different thing you be doing, okay? So, but if you hurt yourself, don't tell them. One day, I was putting my flats tray into the pumpkin, and like my back just went like that, okay? And then like it was stiff or whatever. I told my supervisor, it wasn't a big deal. I told him though, I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like this thing happened. It's not a big deal, whatever. I thought I was like doing the right thing, but he added that on accident report, okay? Well, then, okay, September 30th, I had to have a hysterectomy because I was having yucky lady stuff and it was bad, and they let me off. Even though I didn't have FMLA, they didn't get rid of me. The office manager I had at that time was very nice. The office manager now, I don't think she would have approved me to have the surgery, even though I was having like this stuff happening, okay? I was gone for 6 weeks. And then I came back, and our new office manager, as soon as I got back, this lady was on me like stink on doo-doo. You're not fast enough. You need to speed up. Your job's not guaranteed. Blah, 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 blah. We expect you to do what you were hired for. I was like, honey, 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 honey. I didn't say that, obviously. Okay. But, honey, 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 I just got back from being off for 6 weeks. I am not going to be as fast as I was 6 weeks ago. Right? And I was on a new route, and it was cold. I left, it was sweaty hot, and I came back, and I froze my ass off. Like, there was so much going on. I was on a new route. The first day I had papers. The next day I had ads. And I was on restrictions, hour restrictions, right? Because I can't just jump in and work 12 hours a day. I would have killed myself, not literally, hopefully, but you know what I'm saying? It was bad. And 1 week she had me leave in her office crying, like ugly crying. I was so angry. And the next week she was like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And have we met before? And I was like, well, I never had my supervisor with me during these conversations where she told me things that were not true. She makes her own rules. That's why you need a union person, because if your people are like how my people are, they make up things and they're not true. And your union person knows the black and the white and the gray, and they will stand up for you, because as a CCA, we don't know all this stuff. At least I don't know it. So I assume the supervisor / manager tells me the right things. But I have learned in my station that they're not necessarily on our team. Carriers are on this side and the other people are on this side, okay? We're not really like the same team. We all have the same objective, but we're, I don't know. But anyways, we're not here for me. I just want to let you know that I have been through it. After being pushed for 2 weeks, I was in the dark. I was working on my extra, going down some little stairs, and then I rolled my little ankle at the bottom of the stairs. There happened to be some leaves on the ground, but it was December 5th. There's leaves everywhere on December 5th, especially in the areas that I was delivering mail in, which were not the nicest of areas, right? So I hurt myself. I had to wait over almost an hour for my office manager to arrive. She's laughing and carrying on and just blah, 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 blah. I'm ugly crying. Alone in the dark. Well, my union, one of the union fellers came and sat with me. But if he wasn't there, I would have been completely alone, because they were not in any kind of rush to come and help me. Even though I'm, like I couldn't talk. It was really bad. So like, I ended up tearing a tendon on top of my foot and like messing up some other things and whatever. So anyways, after my injury, I got a PDI, which my union person sat in on. They didn't ask anything goofy, except that they wanted to know what happened. How did that happen? How did it happen? Well, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed it. Whenever you like get hurt, I mean, unless I don't know, I was going downstairs and my ankle just went, I don't know, like it just, you know. So they were like, did you see the leaves? Were the leaves there? Did you know there were leaves there? Is there any other path you could have taken around the leaves? Well, they kept focusing on this like thin layer of leaves. It wasn't a pile of leaves. It was just a thin layer of leaves. anyways, I ended up getting a letter of warning, which was later expunged. But all of this was just very, very stressful. And anyway, so I was out for a little while on work comp. I came back and I'm on restrictions. So now I can only do mounted routes. I'm still on restrictions. I'm waiting to get surgery. So I've had a rough year. But most of the CCAs are going to have a rough year. So like, I've had a rough year as far as them like being on my butt, but like I haven't had a rough year as far as working my ass off every single day. Does that make sense? But it's because my foot hurts. So like, it's like apples to oranges, you know what I mean? So anyway, I just want to be of some assistance to my fellow CCAs and carriers, you know? So so yes, that was my year. Last week was a joke. Oh my God. Oh my God, last week was awful. So anyway, I am here to give you guys some little tips, some little tipsters. And so I'm gonna grab my little notebook here. Now, this is gonna sound dumb to some of you, but it's very important. It doesn't matter if you've been there a week, a month, or a year. I just thought of the Friends song. It hasn't been your week, your month, or even your year, 'cause I'll be there. Anyways, okay, sorry. So learn this phrase, ready? I'm doing the best I can. Hey, Mandy, hurry up. I'm doing the best I can. Mandy, why were you out past 8? I did the best I can. Mandy, why don't you have your stuff out to your truck yet? I'm doing the best I can. Mandy, what took you so long to go and pick up extra off of so-and-so? I'm doing the best I can. That's it. Hello, have a good evening. I'm doing the best I can. That's literally the only things you ever need to say to them. That is it. One thing that I have a really hard time doing is like, they'll go around in the morning and they'll say, how long that they think you're going to take, or how long do you think you're going to need to take? And if you ever say you're taking more than 8 hours, you better have a good reason. You better. Also, pay attention to that list. I had it on the screen on one of my last previous videos. It has all the things and all the reasons why you can go over. Now, I hear supervisors and regulars go at it all the time. And regulars are like, I'm telling you, I do this route every single day. I know I'm going to take an hour over. And it doesn't matter how long you think I'm going to take. I'm telling you for this, and this reason, I'm going to go over. So you fill out one of those papers, those 39, something 39, whatever. And you put on there all the reasons and you give it to them. That's what you do. Now, I am not a good example of that because my supervisors expect me to do magical things. So what I do is I tell them verbally, I think I'm going to go over because of all these papers and because of this and because of that and because of this. And they say, manage your papers, manage your ads, be done in 7 hours. I just said I thought I would be more than 8 hours. Like I don't know. So here's tip number 2. Keep a planner. Keep a planner. So you know what your scheduled time in is. Ours is 8 o'clock. Right. Normally right now it's different, but whatever. So in my planner, whatever time I leave the office, I write that time. And I also write in the planner 1176. That's what route I'm on, 1176. And then I write what time I left the office. And then I write what time I returned to the office. And then if you do extra, I write down the extra that I do and the time that I started and the time that I ended. And if you have any problems, the police were blocking the cul-de-sac. I had that happen. You were confronted by a customer and they were yelling at you and wouldn't leave you alone. I've had that happen. Police were looking for an armed person. I had that happen. Like a lot of things can happen. And whatever happens, dog out, cut split. You know what I mean? Like just basic things. And that way, when ice, okay, so like I was on mounted route, so like ice under mailboxes, I even took a picture where like, you know, like on the street, there's like the street and then it kind of like goes like this. And then like the like soft curve, you know what I mean? Like not the like black, but like the soft curve you can drive over. And there's like a puddle all along there and it was all ice. So every time I'd start and stop at a mailbox, my truck would slide and I had to go slow. So I put ice under mailboxes and I took a picture. I even took pictures when I saw dogs out. So like if I had to cut a split because of a dog, I took a picture of the dog. And I know this is excessive. You don't have to do all of that, but CYA, that's what I do. Cover your booty, except whatever, but. So keep a planner, and in that planner, anytime you have an altercation, anytime any supervisor says anything stupid to you, like I was on, I had a doctor appointment and I told them and they knew about it and all of that for work comp. And they were like, well, I guess we'll force somebody to do overtime and pay them double, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, that's too much. Second of all, this is an appointment that was approved and I need to be off by this time. And that's just, that is that. This is that, that is, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So a lot of the routes I do that are walking routes are in the city. Okay. And I wasn't like, I know that way is the river. That way is the highway. That way is, you know what I mean? Like I know basics, okay? And like, so when you're driving and when you're walking, pay attention to the street signs, especially if you're not familiar with the area. That way you can have an idea where you're going next. Usually it's a flow. So like, a couple of the routes that I've done that are in like a city grid. So it's just like block, 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 okay? So the ones I've been on, the mail starts here. So what you're gonna do is your first piece of mail, you're gonna park outside of that residence. That's where you're gonna start, okay? So ours, you go down the main, like this road, which it wasn't like the side road, but like you go down this road that's north to south, okay? And you're gonna start here at this house at the end of the block. You're gonna go up and then hit a couple houses on the side street, come back, hit a couple houses on the same side street, and then come back up that main street. So it's going to be confusing to you because you're going to have mail for First Avenue and then George Street and then George Street and then First Avenue again, okay? And then you're going to stay on First Avenue and you're going to go to the next house, which is probably going to be the next block. Start there, go up First Street, then Pam Street, and then back to Pam Street, and then back up First Street. You know what I'm saying? So like usually in my area, you just follow one street and you do some side streets as you go. And then you'll go around the corner and you'll go to 2nd Street and then you'll come up the opposite way and still do the same thing. Up 2nd Street, down Pam Street, up Pam Street, back down 2nd. Move up, go, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how ours are generally set up. Now it is up to the carrier, whoever's the regular, they set up how it delivers. But usually if you can find what road you need to park on, you can just keep going straight up that road. And it's so much easier than parking on the little side roads and turning around. And because you're not supposed to go backwards and blah, blah, blah. Can't do U-turns in like this big, you know, the city streets. It's different than like in, you know, the county. But anyway, if you can find a street to stay on and go down the street, well, you know what I mean? That's your best bet. Just remember when you're grabbing your little mail, because you're not familiar with the route, right? When you're grabbing your mail, just because you see a different street doesn't mean you're going to stop right there, because then what happens is you get halfway down your split and then you have to come back to get the other half, walk back up and then come back. And that's going to take you way too much time. Okay. So it's better to take more mail than not enough mail. But what you need to remember is if you start at 100 First Street, you're going to probably end at 101 First Street, because one side is evens, one side is odds, right? I know that sounds dumb, but you know, it's just something that helps. So keep going through that mail until you see something across the street from where you are, ish, okay? So, but just remember, once you do the route and you do the route more than once, you're going to understand, you're going to know what to grab. So just keep that in mind. Also, when you're walking down the streets, what's supposed to be in my city, the street signs, so it'll say First Avenue and then it has like the block number. Well, the side that the street sign is on is supposed to be the block number. So like if the street sign is right here and it says 200, then that's supposed to be the 200 block. And then I know that everything on, okay, so everything west of Main Street starts at 0 and gets bigger, and everything east of Main Street starts at 0 and gets bigger. So you need to figure out kind of like what that is for your area. So you know that if this is 200, then that block has got to be 300 if you're west of Main Street, right? There's more to it, but you'll like literally, it sounds complicated sometimes, kind of, if you don't, I mean, it's not. It's like the easiest and the hardest job at the same time. So just pay attention to the street signs and the numbers, and then so you can remember, you know, what might come next. And sometimes it takes you more than one time. Now, casing, oh Lord, casing a route that you have never done before is a pain in the arse. But what you're going to want to do is when you're looking at your case, it's kind of like the Grinch where he's like throwing the letters and all the boxes. Okay. That's what you're doing, except it's shaped like an L. Okay. So at the end of the case, there's this long, tall thing that's called a coffin. And in there are bundles of magazines and things, flats, right? So theoretically, those things are all in order. So like they'll start at the bottom of your case and go to the top of your case, because the bottom left of our cases is the beginning of the route and the top right of our cases is the end. So like I'll take People magazine and just start putting them in there and they're right in a row. So when you're not familiar with your route, you start with those, because then it'll help you get familiar with the streets and where they might be, okay? Once you do that, you'll have a little bit of an idea. And then once you run the route, you'll have a better idea. The next, I mean, I would say it takes a week or two to really feel comfortable with the route. And then once you're in there for 2 weeks, then you're just like blue, 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 blue. You know what I mean? Like you'll remember because you're running it and you're casing it. But as a CCA, that's not always the case. When you're brand new, usually they're not going to have you case. So like in my office, they don't have you case for like, I cased at the very, very end of my 90 days and it was a route that I did before. So it wasn't as bad. You know what I mean? So I need a drink. Yes, that's better. If you don't like this job, say you don't like this job because your body is sore and you've been there 2 weeks, honey, that's not long enough. If you start a new gym routine, your body is going to hurt. You run a mile tomorrow and you haven't been running at all, your body is going to hurt. So you need to stick to it, because your body is going, okay, I'll just speak for myself. I took this job because I was tired of sitting on my butt all day. I took this job because I wanted to move. I used to work in a factory. I lost tons of weight and I was in great shape. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a job that was going to make me get out on my booty and move my butt. Okay. I was sore. I hurt. I had 7 blisters on each foot. I rubbed my thighs raw so that I had to kind of try to walk bow-legged, but when your thighs touch, it's not that easy. So I wore shorts under my shorts, like bike shorts. Best thing I ever did in my life. If I can remember, I'll put a picture of the bike shorts that I get from Target. Best thing ever. Dudes, you too. You're going to want to wear something that, you know, protects you. I'm just saying. But the more I did it, the better it felt. I started losing weight. It started just coming off me. At first, my knees hurt. Well, I worked in an orthopedic office for like 7 years in my 20s. So like if your knees hurt and you're 300 pounds, your knees hurt because you're 300 pounds. You got to lose weight. And the more weight I lost, the less I ached. You know what I'm saying? Less my knees hurt. And you know what I mean? Like I was sore, but like it was a good sore. You know what I mean? So don't let that deter you. Just keep doing what you're doing, okay? You're gonna feel better. And I know there's people in this that are people on the internet that are going to say this job is going to make you have to have a knee replacement and this job is going to make you do this or that. I worked in an orthopedic office for 7 years in my 20s. A lot of people in their 60s and 70s and even 50s get their knees replaced that aren't mailmen, okay? Our bodies, as we get older, are just going to deteriorate. That's normal. Our bodies, our human bodies, are made to move. They're made to move. So if we eat healthy and we sleep and we take care of ourselves and we're manageable weight and we just keep, it's different if you get an injury, okay? But I'm just saying. So your body is going to get used to it. And I felt great. Last summer, before I had my hysterectomy, I felt so good. And I felt so much more confident than I did before I started at the post office. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you think you're in trouble, the supervisor's like, hey, come talk to me, get your union person. I think I already said that, but just do it. Just do it. Get the dude. Get the dude. Oh, another thing, when you're following the mail and you're delivering and you're like, okay, I'm on First Street and this up here is Tom Road. But I know these are dumb names, and then all of a sudden you get a mail for George Street, but the numbers are just really weird and you're like super confused. Look at the next piece or the next couple pieces, because it could just be missorted, and that's 3M, okay? So just remember that, because I let 3Ms F me up, okay? Another thing is, pretend like you have a piece of 3M and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta go all the way down here to 100, and then you pass 3 houses. And then you realize that that's not even the right street. It was 3M, and then you've missed those 3 houses. Do not go back, unless they have a package. That's different. Do not go back to those houses. You just band those up, honey, and you take them out, unless if it's certified or something like that. But when you're just getting used to your route, that was my biggest thing, was I would backtrack all the time. I would go and then miss something and then have to go back and then go back. And then it just, don't do it. Don't spend more than 10 seconds looking for one house at first. Don't always do that, okay? You're going to get to know the route, and you'll understand. You'll know that there's a greenhouse 2 blocks up on the right, and they have a dog, a big black dog that's not. You're going to learn all these weird, stupid things that you're just like, I would have never cared about before, but you're going to learn it. So when you're first starting and you pass up something, don't go back. Don't backtrack, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? When you're locking up your truck, remember to curb your wheel, put it in park, pull up that parking brake, lock the door, check the door, make a little song if you have to. Just make sure you do it, and that way you remember and think about it while you're doing it, so that when you're halfway down the street and you're like, oh shit, did I lock my door? Did I pull up my parking brake? I don't remember, and I'm scared to get in trouble because you can get fired in your first 90 days. Just pay attention to what you're doing, and then just get your ass down there and deliver the mail. Don't come back and check your truck. Just do it right, okay? That's my advice. Stay calm. What you need to do is get phone numbers to your trainers. Phone numbers. So like when they put you on a route, find out who the regular person is on the route. Obviously, if you're doing a route that day, the regular person isn't there that day, okay? So what you can do is ask the person in the next case, hey, do you know who the swing is for this route? And if Jimmy is the swing, which means a swing, or I forget what else they call him. I call him a swing. A swing does 5 different rounds every, he'll do a round on Monday, a round on Tuesday, a round on Thursday, a round on Friday, a round on Saturday. And then that's what he does. He does the same routes on different days because he covers them. He covers the route when the regular is out that day, whenever it's their off day, right? So you need to find out who the swing is and ask for that person's phone number because they can help you. Or get your trainer, the swing's phone number, the supervisors. Some of them know the routes, but some of them don't know anything. And some of them have never even carried mail before. How are you going to supervise mail carriers if you have no idea what it's like? That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. It's unrealistic. Unrealistic expectations is what they have. So, get other CCA's phone numbers, and higher up on the seniority list, the better, because they have more experience and they can help you, okay? Get phone numbers. Even if you're married, ask that woman, what's her phone number? Just do it. And then underneath of the name, put USPS. This is what I did. Bob Smith, the name, right? And then company, USPS, which station they're at, CCA or regular or swing. And then if they're swing, I would write all the, so like I got Jimmy's phone number. Hey, Jimmy, what routes do you do, Jimmy? And then Jimmy's like, oh, I do 1055, 1037, 1029. I put all of that in the contact information. So I know when I'm on any of those routes, Jimmy is my dude to call. Okay. So do that. Prepare for the weather. Pack extra socks, pack rain boots, pack whatever. When you get your 90 days and you get your allowance, don't use it on normal clothes. Use it for rain gear and stuff for the snow. Don't buy heavy things. Buy things to wear inland. So what you really need to do is just buy something for your outer layer, because you can wear street clothes underneath your outer layer. You can wear 5 shirts underneath your outer layer. And the reason you don't want to wear something big is because if you take off the big coat, it's like $300. You take off that big coat, you're going to freeze. But when you put it on, you get hot. But like if you wear layers, you can just strip off the layers or add back the layers, or you know what I mean? But you just want to make yourself comfortable. I used to have like a winter clothes video, but it got copyright striked. I don't know why somebody thought I was copywriting a music, because I have music in the background that I get from an app that legit isn't not copyrighted music. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Don't quit. Give yourself 6 months at least of this job before you quit, okay? Just stay strong. You can do it. I know you can. If I can do it, you can. I know I've been off, but like I pushed and pushed and pushed myself, and I know I got frustrated, and I am still frustrated, but do not let these people chase you out of a job. This is a secure job. I feel like it's a secure job. My dad retired from the post office, and he says, even though they, I don't know, if they go somewhere, you're going to have some kind of contingency something. They're going to provide some kind of check or something to help you get to your next step in life. And the whole time you work there, once you're regular, you can put up to 15% in your 401k. It's called something different. But you can put up to 15% in your 401k thing, and they match up to 5%. So you can put 20% of your whole income away. And then if you get fired, you still have that. Don't take it. Get another job and then just keep adding to something. You know what I mean? But just hang in there. What else was I going to say? Prepare for the weather. Don't quit. Oh, just remember this about the supervisors and the managers, okay? You only have to see them for like 2 hours of your day or less. So like in the morning, you come in, grab your stuff, get out of there, go do your route. Sometimes they'll pop in and do a safety check or whatever. They just want to make sure you're doing all the right things. Okay, it's not even a big deal. They roll up, they go through a little checklist. Yep, your parking brake's on, you got your mail bag, you got this, you got that. All right, bye. And then the next day they'll give you a sheet. It's not a big deal, I promise. I was so bugged out about that because I was so paranoid when I started, and now it's like not even a big deal. Okay, just remember, okay, sometimes I really like my supervisors, sometimes they're cool, but sometimes whatever, it happens. But it's hard to explain. Okay, it's hard to explain. Anyways, so you only have to see your coworkers. If there's a coworker you can't stand, you don't like how she looks at you, or you don't like how he looks at you, you don't have to. You'll see him in the morning when you're casing, you leave, and you probably won't even see him in the afternoon because you're gonna get back at a different time than them. You know what I mean? Just hang in there, you know. I'll be your cheerleader. I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I know I was going to, but I'm not, and I just realized I just need to calm down and keep going. This is from my makeup. If you guys like makeup, I have another channel. It's called Male Mandy Loves Makeup. Just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. I hope this helped. I know this is kind of all over the place and kind of weird, but I just felt like some of this might be good information for CCA. I know there was something else that I was counting on my fingers and I was going to say something and I was like, no, I'll go back to that, but I don't remember what it was. But if I think about it, I'll let you know. So, I thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you all very, very much. And I hope that you guys are all doing a great job and hanging in there. And at least it's not winter anymore because you winter. That's how I feel about that. It is the worst. It is the devil. So yeah, I will hopefully see you in the next video, and hopefully it won't be so long in between. I don't know if you guys ever want just like personal videos, like update videos, or if you only want educational videos. Let me know down below, because there's been a couple times where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go tell my YouTube friends what is up and what is going on in Vent and tell them what's going on, because I feel like maybe if you know some of the BS that I've put up with and you deal with the same stuff, then you feel like you're not alone. You know what I mean? So just let me know down in the comments if you want me to do something like that. But otherwise, I will catch you in the next video.
Hey friends, check me out on social media. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on TikTok. I am on Instagram. And I'm on the Tweetster, even though I don't know how to use it.